Right. Well, and I'm just going to jump around for a second. When you guys dropped your third album, Temples of Boom, there was a song on there called Strictly Hip Hop.
Yeah.
And was it Muggs who said it? He said, "House of Pain ain't down with us."
Yeah, they had a little rub, and a little disagreement somewhere, and that was like the separation for a while of House of Pain from Soul Assassins. Me and Everlast remained friends through all that, because we're brothers. We've been there for each other in times, that you don't normally see people there for each other. We are actually like a mirror of each other. We're different skin, different fucking, ethnic background and all that, but our lives are pretty similar, and we connected on that level. So when Muggs and him had this little thing going on, Sen and I tried to stay neutral in that, because we knew they were brothers. They would eventually get past whatever shit they were going through and reconnect and squash out whatever little shit that was happening. And it did. It eventually happened.
Yeah.
They talked it out, and they put that shit aside, and the family became one again. But it was crazy, because people would ask us about that. We're like, well, you're going to have to ask Muggs about that shit right there, because we don't know.
And the Soul Assassins family, Cypress Hill, House of Pain, Funk Dubious, but there was also the Hooligans,
right,
which had a young Alchemist.
Alchemist, yeah.
So when you talk about the family tree,
and
you talk about like what Alchemist is doing these days with Freddie Gibbs, and what he's doing with Griselda, and what he's done with Jay-Z and Nas and all them. It all started from Cypress Hill and the Soul Assassins.
He was groomed for this shit, man. Prized pupil, prodigy, He started with us at 13, 14 years old.
And James Caan's son, Scott Caan, was the other member of the Hooligans.
Who was on Hawaii Five-0.
Yeah.
And many other great things. His
Entourage.
Really dope actor. Those were my boys, right? So Amanda Demi, who was Amanda Shear at that time, was part of our management team at Buzztone with Happy Walters. Amanda comes to me and says, I got these two kids from Beverly Hills. You should take a look at them. And, I think she even might have told Muggs first, and Muggs was like, Beverly Hills? Nah, hell no, what are you talking about? Right? But I was like, you know what? Fuck it, let's hear them. How, let's check them out. And she introduced me to them. She played me a couple songs, and I saw some potential there. So I met with them, and I said, let's hear what you got, right? And something to that degree. And Alchemist started busting, and he sounded like a little Grand Puba. Like his lyricism at 13, 14 years old was ridiculous, dog. I mean, I can't tell you, he would have out-rapped half of the dudes that were like, veterans and pros at the time. He was really dope as a kid. And Scott was pretty dope too. He had this energy, he wasn't maybe as technically as sound as Al, but his energy was like all there. Like he was that guy, the driving.
And then Muggs, from what I understand, helped teach him how to produce.
Yeah, eventually later, Hooligans happens first. Right,
which doesn't really happen. They never really
which
come
didn't
out.
really happen. Tommy Boy wanted to sign them. Tommy Boy did sign them,
but they never came out.
Yeah, we made their album. They put out 2 singles out, or maybe 1, and they got scared because they were white kids. They didn't know how people were going to take them. So they put out the one. They put out the 1 single and scratched the rest. But the album was produced by Lethal, DJ Lethal of House of Pain and Limp Bizkit. The Baker Boys, and I can't remember one other production group, but it was like maybe 3 different producers that we brought in to make beats for them. And the songs were pretty fucking good. It's just that, at the time, they're 2 little white kids.
Yeah.
And that just was not acceptable. So, like Scotty, he got back into the acting, and Al hung around us. And he started hanging out with Muggs and our boy Jay Turner, rest in peace. digging in crates, learning how to fuck with the ASR, learning how to put together beats, learning how, like, a lot of people don't know that on Temple of Boom, Alchemist was doing a lot of the crate digging at that time. Yeah, so at the time we were making Temple of Boom, a lot of people don't know Alchemist did a lot of the crate digging with Muggs, and came up with some of that stuff. He didn't necessarily maybe put the beats together, but he came up with some of the samples and stuff like that, along with Jay Turner. You know, the three of them worked on that album extensively at Muggs's crib. And that's where Alan got the bug to start producing. And man, who knew that my dude was gonna become a legend?
Yeah,
bro.
Decades later.
Decades later, I mean, you know, but that goes to show you, like, yeah, you know, we brought him in and we sort of groomed him for this. Me being an MC, you know, was with him in that point, and Muggs on the production end, giving him the game on that point. But like, he did all his own work. Every door that he managed to get to and in and do some, he put that work in. That wasn't because of me or Muggs or anyone else. That's because of dedication and 100% work that he put behind it. And that's why his name is so revered now.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a trip, you know, because we saw something in dude, because, like, you know, at his age, he was just so fucking advanced in terms of the way he was looking at things. And it's great to see where he's at now, man. It's awesome.